Guys, welcome back to our channel. On today's episode, we're going to be making this very beautiful dress. So for this dress, we're going to be making use of our lining fabric, our cotton fabric, and our hard net. So this net is going to be used inside the dress, while this is going to be used on the bust area as seen in the photo. We're going to be making use of the glue to extend our pattern paper and also to close our side bust dart and our marker. So at this point, we have already extended the pattern paper because the length of the pattern paper is shorter than the length of the dress we're making. So at this point, we're marking out our waistline, under bust line, our bust line, and our armhole line. At this point, we're going to be extending our waistline. We came down by 2 inches from the waistline. Then we proceed to mark our hip line. We will then proceed to square out our entire measurements. So kindly do this as seen, and you'd have to make use of a pattern paper because you might not be able to achieve this directly on your fabric. So then we proceed to mark our shoulder measurements, which is 16 inches divided by 2, which is giving us 8 inches. So we're squaring that out, and then we proceed to mark our bust nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches. So we're going to span that from our chest line down to way below our waist. I'll show you why. So from the hip line, we're going to mark 2 inches to the length of the dress. You can also get to extend this above your hip line measurements. So we're going to square this out, and we then proceed to mark our darts on our underbust. So I'm using 1/2 inch for the side that will be on fold, and then for the side bust, I'm going to be using 1.5 inch. It depends on how busty your client is or how busty you are. You can go even further than this. So we're going to curve out our bust measurements, and from your chest line, you're going to be coming up 2 inches. It depends on how covered you want your bust to be. If you want to show a little bit of skin, you come down maybe you come up 1 inch from your armhole line. So I personally came up 2 inches on this point. So now we are going to be marking our upper bust dart, which I use 0.75 on each side. If you're still watching this video till this time, kindly click on our subscribe button and like this video to encourage us to post more content like this. So at this point, we're marking out the bust line. So you're going to include your darts measurements that you're taking out and your allowance. So we mark out the hip line and then square that to the length of the dress. Kindly know that this is the length of the dress we'll be using. So now, from that, you can either go from your waistline or that 2 inch we came down by. You're gonna just use your curve ruler or freehand and connect it to that 2 inches we marked earlier. Then we're going to close our side bust dart. So we are going to be using this iron boning. I don't know what it is called, to mark out the length of that deep cut on our center bust. So kindly don't mark it as wide as this because it will end up making your dress, the center of your dress, so wide. Just mark about less than 1/2 inch because remember you're still going to sew it out, right? So at this point, we came in on the shoulder by 1 inch because if you notice on that dress, the sleeves were not directly on the shoulder line, it came in a bit. So then we cut out our pattern paper, and kindly note how the kind of gap I gave by the side of the dress is because of our side bust that we are going to close. We're also going to close and extend this bust side, which I'll be showing you shortly. So then we're going to split up our side bust dart and glue it together. So now I'm going to straighten out the line and trim off the excess paper we have. So if you notice, after taking out our dart, the length of the side is no longer the same with the center. So we are going to fix that right away. Instead of having to sew your outfit and then you realize that the material is, the fabric of the side is shorter than that of the center. So then we're going to connect it as so. After you've drafted this out, you're going to trim off the excess paper as seen in the video. As you can see now, it's going to be the same length with our center bust measurement. So we're going to cut out this. If you notice, I made adjustments to how wide the V cut was on the center. So this is the three patterns we're going to be using for the front. And if you notice on the dress, at the bust area, it has a certain, I don't know what to call that, like a cape or so. I don't know what I'll call that at the center of at the bust area. So we're going to draft that out using our front bodice pattern. So you're going to start from where the deep cut starts, and we're going to just trace out this pattern as so, and then we'll curve it down to the armhole measurements. So when we are done, you come down by 2 inches, right? Because the if you notice on the dress, it was just about 2 inches length. So we'll connect that. And if you also notice, the center of that design wasn't straight. So we are just going to give it a slight curve at the center part. When this is done, you can proceed to trim out the excess pattern paper. So we're going to have something that looks like this. To get our cap sleeve, we're going to mark out 6 inches length on our pattern paper. Please kindly note that this pattern paper is being placed on fold. And we're going to go as much as 10 inches for the round measurements. Now this is optional. If you're slimmer, you can use less than 10 inches. So from that 6 inches, we're going to curve it down to the round arm measurement, and we're going to come down 4 inches from our 6 inches measurement. I use the freehand for this, but you can also make use of your ruler to get a smoother effect, of which is still giving us the same thing. So you can proceed to cut out your pattern paper, and we're going to be doing a slash and spread. So for this, you're going to be needing 2 pieces of this, and you need elastic too for this same piece. So we'll trim off the excess from the pattern paper. So this is what we have for now, and we're going to do a slash and spread. So from the upper part, you're going to slit through. Please don't cut it till the end, just slit through like this, and you're going to place it on your fabric like this and cut across. So is that up